Welcome in, folks. I'm Devin, that's Zane, and this is Buffet Sports. We are officially in the NFL offseason, so we're getting swifty. We're getting into all of the Madden rebuild of the Jets. We're going to be primarily doing this throughout the offseason while we sit here and chat shit, chat sports, chat football, chat the draft, chat free agency, all the things. Let's jump into this week, baby. 15 predictions. For the NFL, the 2025 NFL season. We can bookmark this so that we have receipts. We have receipts.
Yeah.
Now, here's the catch. Every prediction gets crazier.
Okay.
Okay?
All
right. My first prediction, and we can talk about these as we go.
right.
Joe Burrow will win the MVP.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first one. 2, the Bears will miss the playoffs again. 3, Mike Evans' 100-yard receiving season streak will end this year. Will end this year. He will not get 1,000 receiving yards this year.
And you think he retires if he don't get 1,000?
Yeah.
He's like, it ain't like how it used to be.
Yeah. They don't make them like they used to.
Yeah.
And so, that's the third one. Number 4, Jacksonville will have the worst record in the NFL. They will win, officially, I have 3 games.
Hell yeah.
They will win 3 football games this year. Number 5, Houston will miss the playoffs. Mm-hmm. That one I feel like is a bold.
That one is bold because they've made it back to back with
Rookie and sophomore
a
quarterback.
rookie and sophomore quarterback, and they got Joe Mixon, and they did it without Stephon. So that one is bold.
That one's bold.
So are you predicting that somebody in their division turns up? Maybe the Titans?
Yeah.
Titans or Dolphins? Maybe?
Yeah. Well, Dolphins aren't in their division, but yes.
You're right. I keep saying that.
Well,
because
you'll find out why I have them missing the playoffs. It'll be in here.
All right.
So Houston will miss the playoffs. That's number 5. Number 6, Bijan Robinson will lead the league in rushing.
Ooh, it's about time.
It's about time. This one's not as crazy, but I have him leading the league in rushing with 1,900 rushing yards, which will get crazier with this next one. Drake London will win the Triple Crown.
Ooh.
So they're going to have a
you're
high-powered offense. I'm
Okay.
predicting they're going to be scoring. They're going to be what the Lions were doing this year, running up and down the field.
So you're thinking that, yeah. So Michael's gonna turn that team around. Basically.
Michael's going to turn up,
All
and
right.
it gets crazier. His name will come back later in the list. So that's number 7. Number 8, Daniel Jones will start a football game. That's number 8. That is the midpoint of our list.
Hell yeah.
Number 9, Sam Darnold will be the Week 1 starter for the Indianapolis Colts.
Ooh. Okay.
That's why Houston's going to miss the playoffs.
Because Sam's going to the. Okay.
Because Sam's going to the Colts. And they will make the playoffs. They will win that division and make the playoffs.
Okay.
Getting bolder now. We're starting to go off the rails here at 9. 10. Bryce Young will pass for 4,000 yards. For record, he passed for 2,600 this year.
Okay. These are out there for sure.
They're out here. This one is not as crazy, but when you look at the other defensive talent and the potential of some big stars on defense moving, this one is kind of crazy. Jared Verse will win Defensive Player of the Year. It's not that crazy when you just think about Jared Verse, but then you think about Myles Garrett's going to be going most likely to a better situation. Joey Bosa still exists.
Yeah.
Chris Jones may come back.
And you're also thinking like Brandon Fisk is a beast on that team as well.
Right.
So he's already got to beat that.
Right. He's got to beat that. Pat Surtain won it this year. He still exists. Nick Bonito was in the top 3 for sacks this year. He still exists. Trey Henderson was the number 1 in sacks this year. He still exists. So Jared Verse as a sophomore is going to win Defensive Player of the Year and become a generational talent. Riley Moss will have 4 interceptions.
Oh.
To put that in perspective, that puts him in the top 10 for interceptions this year. So there's a long list of guys who had 4, but that puts him in the top 10. So Riley Moss will have 4 interceptions. I'm going on a checklist, so I don't know what number it is. I think I just said 12. 13. Yeah. Jahmyr Gibbs will rush for 1,700 yards and receive for 700 and finish 3rd in MVP voting behind Joe Burrow and Michael Penix. So Michael Penix is going to be 2.
Say that again.
Jahmyr Gibbs will rush for 1,700 yards and receive for 700 and will finish 3rd in MVP voting behind Joe Burrow and Michael Penix.
So Joe's winning MVP. I think that was the first thing you said.
That was the first one. So Michael Penix is 2nd in MVP voting.
Okay,
Thus
so
the Falcons
you're
turn
like
up.
the Falcons are
The Falcons turn
No,
up.
it's because we've been playing Madden. That's why you're like the Falcons are so good. Because every time we play the Falcons, they kick our ass.
Yeah, Falcons turn up. They're going to be crazy. Okay. Next one. Joe Burrow will pass for 5,000 yards and 45 touchdowns.
All right.
He passed for 40, I think like 49, 48 this year and had like 43 touchdowns. So it's doable, but that's why he wins the MVP because it's the first guy we've seen with 5,000 in a while. So the next one, this is the final one, number 15. Kind of crazy. Aaron Rodgers will win a playoff game this year.
With who?
I-
No one knows.
No one knows.
No one knows.
He will win a playoff game this year, though.
All right. I saw AI fixed like teams that needed QBs, and AI said Aaron Rodgers to the Titans. Now I'm a Titans fan, but I'm not a diehard Titans fan, right? Like I don't really keep up with them, but I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad with AR as our quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, not Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
Like obviously, there's probably a lot of people that are really high on Cam and Shador, but they've already talked about maybe they're taking a generational talent at Abdul Carter. So I mean, I wouldn't be mad. Aaron Rodgers.
I think they're a
Tennessee.
playoff team. I think they're a playoff team probably this year. Like sneaking into the back door of the AFC. Maybe I don't know. It really depends on how things shake out, but they could be a playoff team if that's where he lands. If he goes to the Rams, that's why I think he's going to end up with the Rams. That's why I put that there. But
yeah, if he goes to a good team, for sure, that one's easy.
I think the Rams is like if all signs right now point to the Rams or maybe the Giants. If he's with the Giants,
would be
I
funny.
don't know.
That would be funny if he goes. He doesn't even have to move because I'm pretty sure it's the same stadium.
Pretty much.
He just like stays there. He just goes to the Giants with Malik Neighbors.
Yeah. That would be crazy if the Giants...
And if we knew anything about like the Jets, he would go off. Like with the Giants, he would go off and like go to a playoff, and then like all the Jets fans, they switch their take. They're like, "Oh, we should have kept him.
Yeah.
Just needed one more year." Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So I like that list. I think there's
the Houston one
is
definitely very interesting.
Yeah, that one's kind of wild. That one's like a... Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's not that wild when you think about CJ's production in the second half of games. I've been beating this dead horse for like 6 months now. But
yeah.
I mean, I'm so surprised that they're able to win games when he just like basically falls off, not a cliff, but like a small hill when it comes to the second half of games.
Yeah, I went back and forth because I wanted to include Houston, and I went back and forth with like Daniil Hunter or something being DPOY. But
another kind of hot take prediction: Houston doesn't re-sign Stephon.
I don't think that's that hot
For you, but for most people, for like Houston fans.
Houston fans, sure, but I think the rest of the NFL is like, yeah, he's not that good.
I think you're crazy when saying he's not that good. I mean, he was injured. I think he's fine.
I think he had moments. I think he had moments this year, but are we gonna pin? I think he had moments this year, but overall, I think that he was pretty. Like I wouldn't re-sign him. I just wouldn't re-sign him.
It depends on how much money. He's definitely not coming off of this year, which again we don't know how the NFL values him, but. Coming off this year, he's definitely not worth number one money because you really don't know what he's capable of because he was hurt.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of organizations in the NFL that will give him number one money.
I don't know. I don't know. I hope it's not us. I hope it's not the Broncos.
That does. I was going to wait to bring this up, but I might as well do it now. You hate Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, I know.
Sean Payton's looking for a gadget guy.
I know.
Taysom Hill's not going to get re-signed. It's either Taysom Hill.
Which I would love. I would absolutely love that. It's literally the opposite. Like, I either love it or I hate it.
Or it's Deebo Samuel.
And I would hate that. Broncos. I would hate that. But the thing with Deebo Samuel is you have to figure out a trade. And the Broncos, I don't think the Broncos want to give up draft capital. That's the thing. And that's what the Niners are going to want because the Niners need to reset their team. And that's what and they're going to want draft capital. The other one I think is just hilarious through this is like I have the Falcons just being nuts.
Yeah.
Like I just have the Falcons being incredible.
Which has got to be tough being a Falcons fan because that's what you
expect.
That's what you've been. What am I saying? What they have supposed to have been.
Yeah.
They have like such a great roster.
Yes.
Like across the board.
Across the board, they have the Lions roster of the making.
Yeah, literally.
I think Darnell Mooney was a great pickup for them. He should come back. I don't know what his contract is, but hopefully he comes back, and that's a really great two. Like I was gonna say they should try and find a 2 in the draft, but I'm like they got Darnell Mooney, and he can be a 1 at any moment. But I look at the how much usage Drake London got and how many I think he was in the top 10 for receiving with Kirk Cousins. So then, project that with Michael Penix, Michael Penix. And I think that you could really have something special there. And obviously we know what kind of talent Bijan was. He quietly rushed for the 3rd most rushing yards this year.
Yeah.
Very quietly. No one talked about it.
Nobody talked about it.
No one talked about it. And he quietly rushed for the 3rd in rushing yards. Saquon, I don't think will do 2K again. I think Derrick Henry will not be terrible, but will regress.
Yeah, I'm never going to I'm going to speak the opposite of you because you said that last year. And then, look at what happened to Derrick Henry. I'm always going to say he's going to be close to a 2K rusher until he's not. Same thing with you with the Chiefs. I'm like that with Derrick.
I don't think. Yeah, I just think with. I don't think he's not going to be good. I just don't think he's going to be this good this year. I think he's going to regress some. Just age is just at some point age catches up with you. So I think. Let's go, Quinn. Yeah, I just think that he's set up really well to be that. The Drake London being the Triple Crown is with Joe Burrow having the stats he has, it kind of lends to Jamar Chase having Triple Crown again. But yeah, I like the list though. We have receipts. I don't know how much of it's gonna come true. I would love to see the Bryce Young 4K year. That'd be awesome.
That would be sweet. Yeah, the only reason why it's not outrageous is because how he looked at the end of the season. It was like we all called what his name? What Canales?
Oh yeah, Dave Canales.
Yeah, Dave Canales. We all called him a dumbass. Like you ruining his confidence. Like you're an idiot. And then look what happened. Like Bryce looked so insane.
Well, yeah, he looked really good. But the other thing was, I mean, we may have never gotten that version of Bryce Young if Andy Dalton doesn't go down. Mm-hmm. Like if Andy Dalton doesn't get in a car crash, literally a car crash, then we may never get this version of Bryce Young. And obviously we're all pretty high on him, but he figured some stuff out in terms of how to manipulate the pocket and stuff towards the end of the year. We'll see how. Oh, that's not the button I meant to press. I meant to throw it to Devontae. Do it again.
Manipulating pockets. That's what I'm trying to do with my bank account. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we never really talked about gadget guys. It kind of brings up a good point. Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing that Sean only does one thing? Is that good? Because he's won a Super Bowl.
What do you mean?
Just doing that one thing. He's the one thing we need is a gadget guy, right?
Oh.
Most teams don't have a gadget guy.
Mm-hmm.
Right, most teams in the league don't have a gadget guy. He's already looking for one, same way that he was on the Saints. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing that he can only kind of run?
Oh my God, I forgot.
It's on a delay.
Yeah, I forgot
that he can only kind of run one system, and that requires a gadget guy. What do you think?
I think there's two ways to direct a team as a head coach, and it really depends on your sport. I think in football, you really do want to match up your talent with. You really want to coach to a coach and a quarterback that work together, and so you want players that fit a coach's system because there's coaching is so important in the NFL. I think in the NBA, you want a coach that can manipulate their system around the players because the players, it's such a player-driven league. And so I don't think it's the end of the world that, I mean, if you know it works, why are you going to change it kind of thing? And I think Sean sees what he sees in Bo, and it's like, okay, we need to go get this guy. Because I think the other thing is, too, with the Broncos.
Well, does he see it with Bo, or does he see it because that's the only thing he's done?
Well, I think that's where I was going is I think the Saint, or not the Saints, sorry. I think the Broncos, Bo and Sean, he has a system. Bo did really well with 70% of the system. So obviously year 2, he's going to get more of just the system in general. But then on top of that, let's throw in this gadget guy and really see if he works within our system, and then I can change it. I think that he is smart enough to do what works, what he knows works, and if it doesn't, then move off of it. But I think he wants to just bring him into, like, he just sees Drew Brees, so we're just gonna do Drew Brees, and we want a gadget guy. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I will not like it though if he ends up if we don't have a what's it called? What do they call it? A featured rusher. If he continues to do this like split backfield thing, I really think that that's not how the NFL functions anymore.
Especially this year.
Yeah. You need a bell cow back in today's league, I think, that's going all the time, and you just have to trust that if he's not, if he's not going, it's like Derrick Henry where you just got to keep feeding him, So I will be disappointed in that, but I don't, to me, the gadget guy, even in that instance, like, Taysom Hill still even being the gadget guy in New Orleans.
If it's Debo?
I mean, even if it's Debo, I don't think it's like the whole system's going to be around Debo.
Ashton Jeanty. Going to be the first RB taken off the board is what everybody's saying. So NFL would you rather with Ashton Jeanty.
Okay.
Here, this one's going to be difficult because I'm going to be playing while I do this.
Okay.
You should bear with me. Ashton Jeanty. Would you rather Ashton Jeanty or Devon Achane?
Ashton Jeanty.
Ashton Jeanty. Would you rather...
Are we... Wait. Are we taking these guys as if they're in there, like we're replacing them in the system? Or are we just saying, would you rather? Like, I'm the Broncos and I'm taking in a player? Or is it like I'm switching Ashton Jeanty and Devon Achane on, like... Ashton Jeanty is now a Miami Dolphin.
We'll go like you're drafting him. Like he's available. Like this, he's available for this team.
Okay.
And then you can draft him, and then you would give up your current running back. We'll do it that way.
Okay.
So, Ashton, Devon Achane.
Devon Achane.
Devon Achane in that regards. Okay. Ashton, James Cook.
Oh, Ashton Jeanty.
Ashton Jeanty. Yeah, and you can also... It might be better if you just go based on pure running back.
Okay.
Just how you feel about the player. So you think...
so not system. Don't bring the system
Yeah,
into
don't
it.
bring system. You think Ashton Jeanty's better than Devon Achane?
No, I still take Devon.
Okay, Devon. And then James Cook, you think Ashton Jeanty's
I would take
better
Ashton
than James
Jeanty.
Cook? All right. Give me 1 second here. Oh, he's throwing a screen. All right, Ashton Jeanty, J.K. Dobbins.
Ashton Jeanty.
I knew you were going to do that. Okay, Ashton Jeanty, Jahmyr Gibbs.
Whew. Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs. Okay, Ashton Jeanty, Breece Hall.
Ashton Jeanty.
Ashton Jeanty, Bucky Irving.
Ashton Jeanty.
Fuck. I forget that like steerable spins is a badge, so I was trying to like spin the other way. Okay, Ashton Jeanty, Alvin Kamara. Very different backs.
Yeah, very different backs. Ashton Jeanty, Alvin Kamara. Ashton Jeanty.
Ashton Jeanty, Isaiah Pacheco.
Ashton Jeanty.
Ashton Jeanty, Brian Robinson Jr.
Ashton Jeanty.
Ashton Jeanty, Kyron Williams.
Ashton Jeanty.
Ashton Jeanty, Saquon Barkley.
with the longevity we've seen in running backs and this resurgence of getting him behind an offensive line, probably Saquon.
Ashton Jeanty, Derrick Henry.
Ashton Jeanty.
Jesus, man. Okay. I thought this was going to be harder for you because we don't know what he's going to be in the NFL, but you're just like, he's going to be great.
Yeah.
He's going to be great no matter what.
Yeah.
Okay, Ashton Jeanty, Josh Jacobs.
Ashton Jeanty.
Jesus, man. Ashton Jeanty, Joe Mixon.
Ashton Jeanty.
Okay, so Ashton Jeanty. Who did you not take? You didn't take Jahmyr Gibbs, that's it?
Jahmyr and I think Devon Achane, Saquon.
Devon, Gibbs, Saquon, and Alvin?
No, I think I took Ashton over Alvin.
Was it Bucky
That's
Irvin
tough.
then?
No, maybe it was Alvin. That one's really hard for me because I really like oh fuck.
Son of a bitch.
What Ashton like. They're very different backs between Alvin and Ashton.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ashton has more ability to be a 3-down back. I don't think at this stage, which is hard to say because Alvin isn't old, but I think Alvin has become such a pass-catching back that if he's not used in that way, we said this the other day, or not the other day, but a couple weeks ago, I think you asked me about something like this, and I was like, I cannot imagine Alvin Kamara. I can't think up a highlight of Alvin Kamara breaking through between the tackles. It's always him catching a pass and then running it for 50 yards.
Yeah.
So for that reason, in terms of
he's a pure running back.
yeah, I would rather have the pure running back.
Gotcha.
Saquon is one that's just he's the best.
Yeah, I'm surprised
So
you
it's
didn't.
hard.
I'm surprised you took Ashton over Derek.
Again, I
Derek
think
has years of production.
Today, I still think that this year was a fluke. I not a fluke because he's behind a good offensive line.
Yeah.
But it's a matter of time. I know
Yeah,
I keep beating a dead horse
You
with
should
it.
rephrase the fluke thing. I don't think he's had a year under 1,000.
No, and he hasn't had a year under 1,000. But I don't think the nearly 2,000 this year is representative of where he is in his career. I think I had a good year at an old not every player, but most stars, if they move or they get a change of scenery or something, will have a year where they go brazy, and then it's okay, Father Time catches back up.
It definitely is. It is very special that he is at the age that he's at and able to have one of his better seasons.
Yeah, I think it's until he can, if he does it more, if he continues to do it, then he's LeBron James, and I have to just say, I have to then be okay, he's going to do it till he breaks his leg.
Yeah.
But I think that, but my gut tells me it's just a matter of time.
Yeah. Last one, Ashton Jeanty, Bijan Robinson. Not Brian Robinson, Bijan.
Ooh. I would take Bijan.
Yeah.
That one I would take Bijan because he's still young enough to where I think he's going to be incredible.
So you think Genty's better than most?
I think walking
90% of RBs in the league.
Day one walking in, I think he's going to be a top 10 running back.
Damn. You should put that as a hot take.
I think for you it is, but I think for most people, if I said that to most people, they'd be like, yeah, I don't disagree with you.
I mean, I'm a huge running back fan in general. I think how disrespected all these running backs have been and how we're paying wide receivers all this money and they are they can't be productive without a good quarterback. An RB can be productive even with a bad O-line, we've seen it before. RBs do have the ability to just take over games and switch how defenses play ball based on that person in general. So I'm really big on RBs, but at the same time, NFL is different. It's a different ball game, I'm not sold.
This is also he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be one of the best running backs in the league, but he's also probably not going to be on a great. He might not get a great O-line.
Well, he's gonna be taken late
yeah.
first round, so
maybe
he could be on a good team.
Yeah.
I mean, projected right now is the Cowboys, and the Cowboys, even though they suck this year, they still do have a good O-line.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, they just sucked only because you could argue it was just because Dak went down.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. And with that being said, having just an absolute killer at wide receiver with CeeDee Lamb where you can't stack the box or else CeeDee's going to run a go.
I was going to do CD Triple Crown, but I thought it'd be more fun with Drake.
Yeah. Drake is more fun. But, I mean, adding an elite running back to that offense could totally change it. It could open up more lanes because you have CD on that side. So, I mean, if he goes to the Cowboys, it could be. But, I mean, at the same time, if he fails on the Cowboys, if Dak's, like, healthy, it could also be like, oh, maybe he's just not NFL caliber.
Yeah.
I'm just not ready to say he's NFL. I'm not ready to say anybody's NFL caliber till they play in the NFL. Let's do that, but with QBs.
Okay.
So any of the guys in this draft class,
Okay.
would you take them over these QBs? And I got a couple that would be tough.
Okay.
First one's probably the best one. Justin Fields versus this draft class.
No, I'm taking Justin Fields.
You're taking Justin Fields over everyone.
Yeah.
I would take Cam Ward over Justin Fields.
Fucking shit. I tried to just do it quick.
Okay. Aiden O'Connell. Who are you not taking in this draft class?
Over Aiden O'Connell?
Yeah. Because obviously, I would predict, like, obviously Shador and Cam are on their board. They're going to take them if they're available for the Raiders. So throw them out. Who, like Dylan Gabriel, Jalen Milroe, like
I
who's
would
the people that you
stop
would take?
I would take Jalen Milroe. I would take Jaden Milroe. I would take Shador. I would take Cam Ward. I'd take the guy from Louisville. I would take Kyle McCord from Syracuse. I would stop at probably Dylan Gabriel. I would take Aiden over Dylan.
Dylan and then Will Howard out. And
Will Howard I would take over
you would
Aiden
take
O'Connell.
Will,
Yes.
okay.
Dylan Gabriel, simply because of physicals, I wouldn't take him. He's just too small, and that O-line specifically for the Raiders is not built to house a small quarterback like that.
Yeah, Dylan's kind of in the same boat as Will. Nobody's talking about him. I mean, they almost went undefeated.
But Dylan is
Maybe they did.
Dylan is Bo Nix on crack. Like, he is, like how Bo was like, everyone's like, he's old, no one, whatever.
Yeah.
That is Dylan Gabriel on crack. Like, he has all the stats, all the stuff to like say he should be. Like, if I just read you off his accolades and read you off what he did in college, you'd be like, and then I'm like, and if you didn't have an ageism thing and I just told you how long he'd been playing as a starter, you'd be like, this guy's going to be crazy. But then I tell you he's 5'9", maybe 190. And you're like, and then everything falls apart.
All right, going off of a guy who's 5'9", this draft class versus Russell Wilson.
Oh. Oof.
Who would you take over Russell Wilson? And you got to remember, he's still cheap, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he will be.
Yeah.
I mean, most likely he's going to be begging for a spot because his deal with us is up, and then he's got Who am I? Am I the Steelers?
Let's go Steelers. Let's go Steelers.
The Steelers?
That's the team he's on.
So I'm taking any of these quarterbacks over him.
All right, we win the game. You have 29 seconds. Yeah, you're the Steelers. Justin Fields is gone. You only have Russ, basically. Like, any of these guys, they fall to you in the draft.
I'll take anyone.
Anyone over Russ.
Yes. Simply because in that situation, I just want to get... I want to get another guy.
See, now we have to go, okay, you're not the Steelers. Because now you're going by situations instead of, like, just pure QB. Pure QB. Who do you think is better or will be better than Russ?
I think pretty much everyone, but I think everyone has a shot. Well, okay, better than Russ. Are we taking into account his Seattle years?
No, right now.
Just
like,
right
now. Like
I would take
you're
Cam
a random
Ward.
team. You don't know what you are, but you have Russell Wilson. Are you taking a QB in this draft class, or are you sticking with Russell Wilson for the year?
I would take the top three for me, which no one's going to know who this is. The guy from Louisville.
Well, Jackson's also there.
Oh, yeah, Jackson. Oh, yeah, I forgot about Jackson. I would take Jackson.
Yeah,
in
I
that
got
too.
a list.
I would take Jackson. I would take Jackson, Cam Ward, Shador, and Will Howard.
No Quinn?
No, Quinn.
No Quinn. This draft class versus Derek Carr.
I would take anyone. Just, I mean, you took
Anyone over
Spencer
Derek?
Rattler in the 5th round, so yeah, and like, yeah, I would take if I have to choose. Derek Carr is purgatory, and at least if I take one of those guys,
So-
then
Any of the premier guys, big names, you would take over.
yeah,
And then, how do you feel the same way with Spencer Rattler?
I would take Spencer over everyone but Cam Ward.
Ooh. All right, Aaron Rodgers. This draft class versus Aaron Rodgers.
I would take Aaron Rodgers over everybody.
Okay. This draft class versus Daniel Jones.
I would take Cam, Shador, Jackson Dart, Will Howard, and it ends there for me.
No Quinn, no Jalen.
Jalen, and then the guy from Louisville. I'm really high on him. I really like him. I really like his tape. I got to figure out his name. While you're doing that, let me figure out his name.
Show.
Yeah,
his last name.
Hunter Show.
Tyler
Show, probably.
Tyler Show.
I'll look it up.
All right, this draft class versus Anthony Richardson.
Man, that's tough.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I would take Cam, and I'm just quarterback.
Yeah.
Not the
Not system.
Not the Colts.
You're just a QB. Would you? I mean, you're just.
I would take.
Yeah.
Uniquely, I would take Cam if I was at the top of the draft. I would not take any of the guys in the middle, but I would take Jackson Dart.
So Cam and Jackson over AR.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this draft class versus Sam Darnold.
I would take. There's no one.
Okay, but you have to think. Could it just be he was in the Viking system? Because we know what he was when he wasn't with the Vikings. Mm-hmm. Would you take that guy who wasn't with the Vikings? Would you take him over everyone in this draft class?
I would rather bet on the 3rd overall pick that just came off of a career year in which he was. You just said he's not proven until you've been in the NFL. I'm not ready to say anything until they've been in the NFL. He was a top 10 quarterback this year, hands down in most major statistical categories.
All right.
Tyler Show is his name.
Yeah, Tyler Show. Tyler Show. All right, last we got 2 more actually. This draft class or Jameis Winston?
I would take Cam, Shador, Tyler Show, Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe.
So you take who would you not take?
I wouldn't take Quinn. I wouldn't take. I mean, that's
Will Howard, Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, I would take Jameis over those guys. If I just need a quarterback for a year, like if I'm just like I just need a guy for a year,
all right.
I'd rather take Jameis and then go get a guy next year.
This draft class or Will Levis? Now you got to think. Will, his first year, his Superman abilities benefited the team. His second year, all of that Superman stuff that he tried to do, it hurt.
I don't know if he really benefited them. I think they were just that bad to where he was
he threw a pick and then he got it back and then he ran it for a touchdown. He his craziness that he had benefited the team. This year, it has hurt the team. Do you think that you could get him back to just being Will?
I think I would take everyone. I think I would take everyone but Dylan Gabriel over Will.
Over Will?
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else? Anybody else you think in the league? Like Kyler? Like, would you take people over Kyler?
No.
Like, is there any other quarterback?
Kirk. I mean, Kirk's not on a team. He's not going to be on a team, but I would. Kirk is a guy that if I needed a quarterback for a year, I'd take Kirk over anyone in this draft. Mm-hmm. I would take Bo over everyone in this draft.
You hate Tua. I mean, is there anybody in this draft you take over Tua?
Oh, I'd take Cam Ward over Tua.
Over Tua?
Yeah. I think at worst, like if you're Miami and you have the number 1 pick, at worst you get another Tua. Which really is like Tua, although he's been injury prone, you've made playoff trips. Mm-hmm. You've had an almost 2K year from Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
With all the bad and all the injury issues, he still was a top half quarterback for a couple years.
Yeah. 100%.
So I would really just take. I probably would throw Shador in there.
You take Shador over.
I'd probably take Shador and Cam Ward over Tua if I had the top 5 pick and I was the Dolphins. I would probably I would probably do that.
What about Geno?
I said this while we were watching the tape today. I think Shador is Geno. Mm-hmm. So I would, again, at worst, I would take Cam over Geno, and then I think I would take Shador over Geno because at worst you have another Geno. Mm-hmm. And then I think Jackson Dart has the fire that oddly the Seahawks need. Mm. I think he's got a little bit of crazy in him, and I think they need a little bit of that because I think DK is that, and no one wants to see that in your receiver, your predominant receiver. But when your quarterback's a little bit crazy, it downplays that, which is the same issue that I think the Eagles have because Jalen's so cool, and AJ's like, throw me the ball. I read books on the sideline because the Eagles winning the Super Bowl changed the outlook on the NFL draft. I think we talk about how teams like to copy the Super Bowl winner, whatever works. And what did the Eagles do? They built the trenches. So,
they just built a great team.
Well, but the trenches are the best. Are
being able to rush
with
4 it's crazy.
So, to your point, you made an analogy. Draft your socks.
Yeah, draft your socks.
That's what this draft is. There is a shit ton of O and D line draft this year available. And the smart teams will get ahead of the curve and draft those guys. Now, the point with this whole thing is that there's a swing that happens in the NFL. And I was kind of looking through different draft classes and looking through the ebbs and flows of everything. We are coming out of a weird period that doesn't really line up with this theory, but I think it will as we, over the next 5 or so years. Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Thank God. Thank Jesus.
I was about to say, well, there's the Drake London Michael Penix connection. And I think there's I think we're coming out of a weird period primarily because
the league has been run by QB X factors.
No. Well, yes, but not my point exactly. Sort of, but not exactly. We're in a weird transition period because we just had a bunch of quarterbacks leave, and so both sides of the ball, I think, were kind of in turmoil. So we were just kind of these last couple of drafts were just kind of funneling through people, and we've finally gotten through. Like we have our quarterbacks that are in place.
With that being said, how everybody left and everybody's kind of like fumbling is we saw a team basically pick up college ball and play it in the NFL, and they did it successfully, which was the Commanders, right? So that's kind of that fumbling, like people don't really know what they're doing sort of thing.
So we're coming out of an era where there was a bunch of transition with quarterbacks. Like obviously we were Tom Brady retired, Drew Brees retired, Peyton Manning retired. So we just got out of a weird place where forcefully we had to do like a reset on the offensive side of the ball. But looking through drafts, there's a trend where basically every 8 to 10 years, for 8 to 10 years, it's heavy one side of the draft or the other. Mm-hmm. And that's primarily because, well, one, we're to that point of we're settling down with these different quarterbacks. Offenses are starting to get figured out because, one, they're getting their quarterback. Mm-hmm. 2, once you get your quarterback, you find out who your quarterback likes and you keep them. And so the offensive turnover is about to shift. It's about to be, oh my gosh. The offensive turnover through the draft, I think, is going to start to stop. So there's 2 ways you can draft. Either, 1, you are trying to get ahead of the curve, meaning that while the offenses are bad and everyone's churning through offensive players, you can draft the defensive side of the ball so that when it flips again and everyone's trying to draft for defense, then you can actually get good players at good value in the draft on the offense, and you don't have to overdraft people because you've already got your defense figured out and everyone else is scrambling for defense. Yeah. That's one way to draft. The other way to draft is obviously just take the best available player. But specifically I hate that. He went under. Damn it. So those are 2 ways to draft. Best overall player or draft the opposite side of the ball that's having turmoil in the league. The other way to... Oh my gosh. I was trying to get a move off. The other way to draft is how the bad teams draft, which is not taking advantage of not drafting opposite and just drafting what's important in that moment. So the trend is draft defense, the trend is draft quarterbacks, draft that and stay bad.
Mm-hmm.
The teams that are smart in this draft are going to look at the Eagles and look at all these other teams that have really great rosters built, and obviously draft the offensive defensive line players and follow the trend. The end all be all to this whole thing is that we're going to see for the next couple years a weird period where obviously there's a bunch of teams that have drafted well, and we kind of have all these sort of super teams. They're not super teams like the NBA sense, right? Where we have all these guys that are combining, but just teams that have drafted really well. And we're in this weird period of time where we've just come out of a transition and we're not quite ready to flip over to the defensive turnover now that we've got a lot of offenses figured out. We're in this weird period where there's going to be 4 to 5 years where there's a bunch of teams that are really fucking good and have a really stacked roster because they've drafted well, because they have done the draft on the opposite side and get value in when you're drafting the opposite side of the ball. That teams like the Eagles, teams like the Lions, teams like the Bills, I think, are in that category now. I'm trying to think of like other teams that are young that are going to be like that. I think the Cardinals are a little bit too young, but I'm interested to see in this draft. I think it will be the turning point where we start to see the offensive taper off, like offensive guys being drafted taper off, and all these defensive stars coming in.
Yeah.
Because there's always another receiver, there's always another quarterback, there's always another tight end, but there's not always the best edge rusher. There's not always a generational corner. And I think there's such oversaturation in offensive positions that we're going to be turning to, over the next couple of years, this thing of like major turnover in defenses. A lot of our defensive stars are older, and it's also going to lead to high production with offenses. We're going to see record-setting numbers. And then obviously the offensive rules have been, the game is tilted towards the offensive favor. So again, all that to say, draft your socks this year, because this is going to be one of the rare years that you can get really good value at other positions, namely running back. I think this is going to be a generational running back class. I think we're going to look back and we're going to say this was like a 3 or 4 Hall of Famer running back class.
There are a lot of good running backs. Quinshawn, Henderson, both from Ohio State. Ashton Jeanty. There's the guy from NC who was second overall in stats. Jeanty beat him out. And then, obviously, there's a guy from Oregon who's jumping up some boards. I mean,
I think this is going to be a really good running back.
I don't know if Etienne's brother's in this class, but
I don't think so. I think he's got one more year.
He's got one more year.
But, like, you look down this board, and I think we're going to look at this and say there's, like, 3 or 4 Hall of Famers in 10 years where we're like, wow, this was just, we had no idea what we were getting in this draft. But there's going to be a lot of, like, 5 to 8 year guys, or 8 to 10 year guys in this draft that really make noise.
I guess I'm drunk enough to talk about it. I guess I am. We lost. We lost the war.
Oh.
We didn't lose the battle. We won the battle, but we lost the war.
We did.
As in, Canada beat us in the Four Nations tournament. Well, they didn't beat us.
They did beat us.
No, we beat their ass, right, physically, but
they won
sports-wise, they won the game.
Yeah. They won the champ.
Yeah. I think the hardest part about this is, like, we've watched movies before about, obviously that one hockey movie with, I forget his name, but it was about the USA team winning the gold medal. We've seen basketball movies with Samuel L. Jackson and, like, all these crazy, like, Disney movies about, like, sports. That was all in the 90s before. This was ours. This, in 10, 20, 30 years, this was going to be ours. Like, they boo us in the national anthem. We come out and just kick their fucking ass. And then we win the Four Nations, but we didn't win.
Yeah.
So, what I think we need to do is we need to add more tariffs. Why the fuck not? Why not? All right, you want to beat us in hockey, huh?
You guys don't
Add
understand.
more tariffs.
You guys don't understand what's funny about this. The fact that he is, the fact that he's in on the tariffs thing. You guys don't understand what's funny about this because you don't get to hear our day-to-day conversations. Go ahead.
Add more.
Add more.
Add more.
Add more tariffs.
Screw that country. We had it. They cheated. I don't know how they cheated. It's USA forever. Add more tariffs. Now, obviously, this is a joke.
Or is it?
Or is it? Is it a joke? Or am I serious?
Or am I? No one knows.
That's all I want to say.
That's all you want to say.
Oh, we have a 47-yard field goal.
Oh, okay. Let's see if I can make this. Oh, God.
All I want to say is...
Oh! Let's go! All right, we got a 32-yarder.
Way easier.
Let's go!
Oh, yeah. I hate Canadians. I don't know what else to say.
What do you want here?
Whatever. Whatever they're doing good.
So who's your MVP this year?
Oh, it's easy. I think you know. After my spiel about RBs. This is Saquon Barkley.
Oh, you think Saquon will win it this year?
Oh, this year. I thought you meant like who should have won it. No.
No.
Okay, this year going into it. Joe Burrow's a great pick. I think I picked him last year. Either me or you picked him last year to win MVP.
I think you did because I think I picked Josh.
Or Josh. Yeah. Oh, so you got it right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you did get it right.
did.
Yeah. I picked Joe
Should
Burrow.
put the house on it.
Yeah, you should have. We need more gambling in America. That's what I'm realizing. Is we need to gamble more. You know, maybe Luka would have stayed if we could gamble more. That's all I'm going to say about it. Is if we could just have more casinos, more parlays,
More parlays.
life would be better. Would it not be?
I think it could be.
Could be.
If we're all a little bit looser.
Yeah. Yeah, if we all just got a little bit loose, especially the women, you know. I need more loose women in my life.
What?
Jesus.
What?
Jesus.
All right, back on offense.
All right. Quick turnaround, back on offense. Another kind of hot take prediction, Houston doesn't re-sign Stephon.
I don't think that's that hot.
For you, but for most people, for like Houston fans.
Houston fans, sure,
Houston
but I think the
fans
rest of the
know
NFL is like, yeah, he's not that good.
I think you're crazy when saying he's not that good. I mean, he was injured. I think he's fine.
I think he had moments. I think he had moments this year, but are we gonna pin? I think he had moments this year, but overall, I think that he was pretty. Like, I wouldn't re-sign him. I just wouldn't re-sign him.
It depends on how much money. He's definitely not coming off of this year, which again we don't know how the NFL values him, but. Coming off this year, he's definitely not worth number one money because you really don't know what he's capable of because he was hurt.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of organizations in the NFL that will give him number one money.
I don't know. I don't know. I hope it's not us. I hope it's not the Broncos.
Like we all called, what his name? What Canales?
Dave Canales.
Yeah, Dave Canales. We all called him a dumbass. Like you ruining his confidence. Like you're an idiot. And then. Look what happened. Like, Bryce looked so insane.
Well, yeah, he looked really good, but the other thing was, I mean, we may have never gotten that version of Bryce Young if Andy Dalton doesn't go down.
Mm-hmm.
like if Andy Dalton doesn't get in a car crash, literally a car crash, then we may never get this version of Bryce Young. And obviously we're all pretty high on him, but he figured some stuff out in terms of like how to manipulate the pocket and stuff towards the end of the year. We'll see how. Oh, that's not the button I meant to press. I meant to throw it to Devontae. Do it again.
Manipulating pockets. That's what I'm trying to do with my bank account. You know what I'm saying? Ashton Jeanty. Okay. Going to be the first RB taken off the board is what everybody's saying. Mm-hmm. So NFL Would You Rather with Ashton Jeanty.
Okay.
Here, this one's going to be difficult because I'm going to be playing while I do this. Okay. You should bear with me. Ashton Jeanty. Would you rather Ashton Jeanty or Devon Achane?
Ashton Jeanty.
Ashton Jeanty. Would you rather...
Are we... Wait. Are we taking these guys as if they're in there, like we're replacing them in the system? Or are we just saying, would you rather? Like, I'm the Broncos and I'm taking in a player? Or is it like I'm switching Ashton Jeanty and Devon Achane on, like, Ashton Jeanty is now a Miami Dolphin?
We'll go like you're drafting him. Like, he's available, like this. He's available for this team.
Okay.
And then you can draft him, and then you would give up your current running back. We'll do it that way.
Okay.
So, Ashton, Devon Achane.
Devon Achane.
Devon Achane in that regards. Okay, Ashton James Cook.
Oh, Ashton Jeanty.
Ashton Jeanty. Yeah, and you can also... It might be better if you just go based on pure running back.
Okay.
Just how you feel about the player. So you think...
so not system. Don't bring the system
Yeah,
into
don't bring system. You think Ashton Jeanty's better than Devon Achane.
No, I still take Devon.
Okay, Devon. And then James Cook, you think Ashton Jeanty?
I would take Ashton Jeanty.
All right. Give me 1 sec. Give me 1 second here. Oh, he's throwing a screen. All right, Ashton Jeanty, J.K. Dobbins.
Ashton Jeanty.
I knew you were going to do that. Okay, Ashton Jeanty, Jahmyr Gibbs.
Whew. Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs. Okay, Ashton Jeanty, Breece Hall.
Ashton Jeanty.
Ashton Jeanty, Bucky Irving.
Ashton Jeanty.
Fuck. I forget that like steerable spins is a badge, so I was trying to like spin the other way. Okay, Ashton Jeanty, Alvin Kamara. Very different backs.
Yeah, very different backs. Mm-hmm. Ashton Jeanty, Alvin Kamara. Ashton Jeanty.
Ashton Jeanty, Isaiah Pacheco.
Ashton Jeanty.
Ashton Jeanty, Brian Robinson Jr.
Ashton Jeanty.
Ashton Jeanty, Kyron Williams.
Ashton Jeanty.
Ashton Jeanty, Saquon Barkley.
With the longevity we've seen in running backs and this resurgence of getting him behind an offensive line, probably Saquon.
Ashton Jeanty, Derrick Henry.
Ashton Jeanty.
Jesus, man. Okay. I thought this was going to be harder for you because we don't know what he's going to be in the NFL, but you're just like, he's going to be great.
Yeah.
He's going to be great no matter what.
Yeah.
Okay, Ashton Jeanty, Josh Jacobs.
Ashton Jeanty.
Jesus, man. Ashton Jeanty, Joe Mixon.
Ashton Jeanty.
Okay, so Ashton Jeanty. Who did you not take? You didn't take Jahmyr Gibbs, that's it?
Jahmyr and I think Devon Achane, Saquon.
Devon, Gibbs, Saquon, and Alvin?
No, I think I took Ashton over Alvin.
Was it Bucky
That's
Irving
tough.
Then?
No, maybe it was Alvin. That one's really hard for me because I really like. Oh fuck. What Ashton like? They're very different backs between Alvin and Ashton. Mm-hmm. I think Ashton has more ability to be a 3-down back. I don't think at this stage, which is hard to say because Alvin isn't old, but I think Alvin has become such a pass-catching back that if he's not used in that way, like we said this the other day, or not the other day, but a couple weeks ago, I think you asked me about something like this, and I was like, I cannot imagine Alvin Kamara. I can't think up a highlight of Alvin Kamara breaking through between the tackles. It's always him catching a pass and then running it for 50 yards. Yeah. So for that reason, in terms of like,
he's a pure running back.
yeah, I would rather have the pure running back.
Gotcha.
Saquon is one that's just like, he's the best.
Yeah, I'm surprised
So
you
it's
didn't.
hard.
I'm surprised you took Ashton over Derek.
Again, I
Derek
think
has
like
years of production.
today, I still think that this year was a fluke. Like I not a fluke because he's behind a good offensive line.
Yeah.
But it's a matter of time. I know
Yeah,
I keep beating a dead
You
horse
should
with it.
rephrase the fluke thing.
Yeah.
I don't think he's had a year under 1,000.
No, and he hasn't had a year under 1,000. But I don't think the nearly 2,000 this year is representative of where he is in his career. I think I had a good year at an old, like not every player, but most stars, if they move or they get a change of scenery or something, will have a year where they go brazy, and then it's like, okay, Father Time catches back up.
It definitely is. It is very special that he is at the age that he's at and able to have one of his better seasons.
Yeah, I think it's like, until he can, if he does it more, if he continues to do it, then he's LeBron James, and I have to just say, like, I have to then be like, okay, he's gonna do it till he breaks his leg.
Yeah.
But I think that, but my gut tells me it's just a matter of time.
Yeah. Last one, Ashton Jeanty, Bijan Robinson. Not Brian Robinson, Bijan.
I would take Bijan.
Yeah.
That one I would take Bijan because he's still young enough to where, like, I think he's going to be incredible.
Classic gaslighting.
No, I'm
Can
asking
you think back and give me a specific moment? No, I can't.
Okay, well, that's my point. My point is that...
So you are gaslighting.
Sort of. But my point is, if you can't give me a moment to where you go to this moment and say he's clutch, then I can't agree with you.
No, I can't give you a specific moment where they were like down with like 3 minutes left or anything like that. I can give you the Super Bowl, the pass to Devontae Smith. I can give you that. That was a great pass. It was a great throw.
There's no pressure.
Yeah, but like you are gaslighting me. You're like, can you name me a specific time in this specific moment? Like, I can't even remember the last time the Eagles were down.
Okay, that's my...
So you are gaslighting me. So it's a rare occurrence that you are asking me to grab a point from. You're gaslighting me.
That's my point.
You're a gaslighter.
That's my point, Zane, is that my point is that you're trying to build a case for him being a top 10 quarterback and that he has these clutch moments, but you can't give me one. So thus, I'm
saying that
I'm
he
making
throws
my case.
less than normal QBs, and he does.
Why?
He does well because
Why?
they run a lot.
Why do they run a lot?
Because they can run. They're good at running. You do what's good.
Okay.
Same way as building a good roster is your job.
Okay. And I'm just building my case. I'm just showing you why I can't move him up and why the 91 is not crazy.
But you are basing it off of the thing that I have said, is that you are basing it off of X factors.
Is that not how you have an argument? You base it on what they said?
No, you're doing the opposite. That's what I'm saying, is that I said that X factors is what everybody thinks is normal.
3rd and 8.
X factors is not normal. Like, being normal is being a QB, giving the ball to your playmakers and letting them play. Like, winning the game by yourself is not, like, it's only normal now. It has not always been normal. And you keep bringing up, like these times when they, like, every single point you've brought up is, when has Jalen Hurts been an X factor? I'm arguing against X factors. I think a great quarterback is doing their job and giving the ball to their playmakers, and their playmakers win the game for them.
I know that. And you asked me, you
keep bringing up X factors, and
yes.
I'm arguing against X factors.
I understand your argument. I'm just saying I disagree with you. You gave your point that you think he should be higher.
But every argument you bring up is like, when is he an X factor?
I'm saying, I don't give a fuck. I'm arguing. You're arguing with me. The point you asked me, you said, to start this off, you said PFF ranked Jalen Hurts the 91st best player, and I said okay, and then you said, why do you? And you were like, that's it. Why is that? I'm just telling you why.
Yeah.
And so I'm telling, and you're saying, and in your mind, X factor doesn't matter. And I'm saying to me, for me, not you. I don't give a fuck. Me.
Okay, I get that.
Okay.
I get that, but it's like the argument that you bring up is always the same.
I'm not trying to win the argument. I'm just telling you why my opinion is.
Okay.
I'm not arguing with you.
You know, it kind of feels like you're trying to win the argument.
I can understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I can understand where you're coming from. I'm trying to get you to understand where I'm coming from, and you're just arguing with me. I'm just trying to give you points. I'm trying to lead you. I'm trying to lead the horse to water.
The reason why I am doing like this thing where it's like I don't understand what you're saying is because it is against, like, you are throwing out the reason that I think Jalen Hurts is higher.
Again, and I understand that. I'm not arguing with you. If I was arguing with you, then I would go with what you're saying. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just telling you what I think.
Yeah.
You asked me what I thought, and so that's what I'm telling you.
Yeah. But do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yes. I understand where you're coming from, and I'm explaining to you why I disagree and why, for me, I can't put it. I understand why he's 91. That's it.
Yeah, I get it. I like, if you put it that way, I get it. But like when we're conversating about Jalen Hurts, that's where like I get into the okay, we're mixing up like what we're talking about. But I understand what you're saying, because it is a preference thing. What I am doing.
Yes, and that's why it's not an argument. Your preference, and I'm explaining my preference, because that's what you asked me to do.
Yes.
So that's what I was doing.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think you explained your preference well, is what I'm trying to say, because I got a little mixed up every single time we like went back and forth. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Now I'm trying to explain my preference about your preference about my preference.
Okay.
I guess I'm drunk enough to talk about it. I guess I am. We lost. We lost the war.
Oh.
We didn't lose the battle. We won the battle, but we lost the war.
We did.
As in, Canada beat us in the Four Nations tournament. Well, they didn't beat us.
They did beat us.
No, we beat their ass, right, physically, but
they won.
Sports-wise, they won the game.
They won the champ.
Yeah. I think the hardest part about this is, like, we've watched movies before about obviously that one hockey movie with, I forget his name, but it was about the USA team winning the gold medal. We've seen basketball movies with Samuel L. Jackson and like all these crazy like Disney movies about like sports. That was all in the 90s before. This was ours. This in 10, 20, 30 years, this was going to be ours. Like, they boo us in the national anthem. We come out and just kick their ass. And then we win the Four Nations, but we didn't win.
Yeah.
So, what I think we need to do is we need to add more tariffs. Why the not? Why not? All right, you want to beat us in hockey, huh?
You guys don't
add more tariffs.
You guys don't understand what's funny about this. The fact that he is, the fact that he's in on the tariffs thing. You guys don't understand what's funny about this because you don't get to hear our day-to-day conversations. Go ahead.
Add more.
Add more.
Add more.
Add more tariffs.
Screw that country. We had it. They cheated. I don't know how they cheated. It's USA forever. Add more tariffs. Now, obviously, this is a joke.
Or is it?
Or is it? Is it a joke? I think this is
not what I meant to do. I'm not even drunk. I meant to throw it to Devontae.
This is kind of a good question. I don't know if you will agree, but do you think Lamar Jackson, who is in the top 7 of QBs, for sure,
undoubtedly top 7, most likely top 3.
Do you think he could work in the Eagle system, not being the main guy, not having to do everything? Do you think he has the mental to do that?
Yeah.
You think so? I do not think so. I think Lamar has to be the leader of the offense. The offense has to be built.
I don't think any quarterback wants to have to do what Lamar's.
Oh, let's go!
I don't think any quarterback. I think every quarterback would love to be in Jalen Hurts' position. I think he would be just fine.
I don't think so.
I think we would see him do even crazier shit.
I think Patrick would do extremely well. I don't think Josh or Lamar would do extremely well because their entire styles are built on them being the X factor.
Because I don't agree with that. I just don't agree with that.
I mean, if you look at the season, like Lamar had Derek, but there were still times where he's scrambling, throwing deep balls, like doing all this like crazy stuff.
Okay, but then I don't know.
I don't think there's many QBs that could play the QB role. I think there's a lot of QBs
That's crazy.
I think there's a lot of QBs that cannot be game managers. I think there's a lot of QBs that have to be X factors to succeed.
I don't think that's true.
So every QB can be a game manager, not every QB can be an X factor.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why there's second. That's why there's quarterbacks that don't.
I think
that's the difference between a. Do they want us to go for 2? Is that what's going on?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I don't know why we're up 22-7.
I think that. Oh God.
Because if you think about game managers, they're guys they just pass. Just give
that's
it to
why
these guys.
That's why we have Cooper Rush. Like that's what every quarterback that's a bench guy. Why can't I backup quarterback? Jesus Christ, that was tough for me. Like I spent like 5 minutes with that. That's why we have backup quarterbacks. Like that's why we have we draft guys every year and we go, yeah, they're a backup or they have backup eyes or like that's the difference is being a game manager. I think a lot of guys can be a game manager. I think that's what made Brock Purdy. I think you can make it's literally the same argument as Brock Purdy. We're having the same argument as Brock Purdy. The NFL understands uniquely better than anyone else. We're a TV product. We are entertainment, and we are here to entertain, and you guys are employees, so we're going to make it entertaining.
Yeah, that perfect way of putting it.
Yeah.
You guys aren't stockholders. You guys are employees for this company, right? And if you don't want to work for the company, there are other companies. We're just the biggest, and we're the best. I mean, look at the flipping Amazon workers. What the shit they got to deal with. That's what happens when there's a company that's top dog. They're the biggest. The workers get a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what it is in the rest of the world. And we're not making millions of dollars.
Yeah. And the NBA is like they're the activist person with a rainbow haircut.
Okay.
Who's glued their hand.
Come on, make an analogy we can use.
Who's glued their hand to the ground.
Please make an analogy we can use in
and
short
is sitting
form.
in the middle of the road. And is saying, "You can't go."
No, come up with an analogy we can use.
I think we can use that.
All right, we'll use it.